think you're going to start seeing her try to attack Ben Johns, as she is never afraid to go at the person in front of her.
Side out.
Here's a good look at Annalie Waters, 17 years old, the best female talent in the sport.
Point.
And there's a good look at Ben Johns going for the attack early, but again, Georgia Johnson ready to go right at him, just unable to connect there.
Point.
JW Johnson goes down the middle, right choice, just a bit long.
Right on cue. There's the wrist flick that we talked about that you're going to see from him.
Oh, just there for the finish. Barely missed it. And another point to the 1 seed.
It'll be interesting to see how much we get to see JW Johnson try to get involved in the middle of the court.
Second serve.
I mentioned last year at this tournament, the Johnson siblings took down the 1 seed. That was in 3 in the quarterfinals. So they did it once. At least gives them the confidence they can do it again.
4-0-2.
Ooh, a little Ernie sneak attack by Annalie on the backhand.
All smiles from Ben Johns, setting that up for.
Here are the career head-to-head numbers. Waters and Johns leading the series. 7 wins to that 1 loss, as mentioned, back at the desert last season.
0-4-2. Side out.
Great setup from Annalie Waters, rolling that ball down on the left foot of Georgia Johnson. Should she pop it up? There's Ben Johns for a nice cleanup.
4-0-1.
And Georgia Johnson trying to flick by Annalie Waters, just going for a little too much, knowing the pressure of Ben Johns is looming right in the middle of the court.
5-0-1.
And a big lead here early on.
Annalie scooting outside the line to hit the backhand. Interesting court positioning there.
Yeah, looking to move to her right a little bit, but JW just sitting on that backhand nicely, kind of slid a little bit.
Wow, that angle and wrist action from JW Johnson. Nobody can do it like he can at the kitchen.
Absolutely not, and we'll see if that can kind of get them some momentum as they get the ball back.
5-0-1.
5-0-1 is the score, and we will take a quick timeout. Waters and Johns with a hot start in game 1. 5-point hole here in game number 1. Georgia Johnson, 17 years old. Her brother, JW next to her, just 21.
Second serve.
Young and talented sibling duo here on Humana Championship Court.
0-5-2. Side out.
Couple drives going long, so trying to get the feel here is Georgia Johnson and JW.
5-0-1.
Obviously, the pressure that the #1 team puts on you.
Point.
And that ball sitting up just enough, so not a lot of long dinking rallies yet. We'll see if that changes as this match progresses.
Point.
But another missed return, another error from the Johnson duo.
7-0-1.
Jim Ryan, Drew DeHennis, and Diane Vieta are referee crew for this matchup.
And a big overhead from JW Johnson, putting that one outside of the court.
7-0-2. Point.
And Ben Johns with his own forehand flick going right at the body of Georgia Johnson.
8-0-2. Side out.
How about that sneak attack from Georgia Johnson down the middle? Beautifully played.
0-8-1. Second serve.
And a nice point there from Annalie Waters and Ben Johns. The cross-court dinking of Georgia Johnson to Annalie.
0-8-2.
Setting it up for Ben.
Side out.
Ernie attempt denied by J.W. Johnson. Side out. And 3 points
8-0-1.
out from taking the first for Waters and Johns.
Second serve.
And Ben Johns going for it on the drive after playing some great defense on J.W. Johnson.
8-0-2.
And
Point.
lucky for Ben and Annalie to get the net court, unlucky for Georgia and JW, but you can start to see the pattern that's developing of Georgia
9-0-2.
Johnson and Annalie Waters with the cross court until Ben Johns has the ability to get involved.
Georgia Johnson going toe-to-toe with Ben Johns. Didn't get the point, but what a rally.
Game point.
As we talked about
10-0-2.
earlier, Georgia Johnson not afraid to go at Ben Johns at all.
Game point for the 1 seed.
Side out.
Love the fearlessness of Georgia Johnson setting up her brother JW on the finish. Going right at
0-10-1.
Ben Johns down the line. Not an easy task for the ladies on the right.
Second serve.
And there's that pattern again of the cross-court dinking between Annalie and Georgia until Ben can get
0-10-2.
involved.
Drops it right on the backside of J.W. Johnson to open up the court.
And that is going to be closed. The no-go zone there. Ben Johns just testing out J.W. Johnson.
1-10-2.
And not available as they finally get on the board.
Side out.
What a point. Both sides. Unbelievable.
Game point. 10-1-1.
ATP defended effortlessly by Ben Johns. Another game point for Annalie and Ben.
Point. Game 11-1.
Game 1.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
Yeah, don't hit me, I'ma fall like face it. None of y'all can stop me saying what we like face it. Shut it down, you know I'm the one doing face it. None of y'all can stop me saying what we like. Yeah, face it.
Game 2, time
Bad news for the rest of the draw.
0-0-2.
Annalie Waters and Ben Johns looking as good as we've seen them in that top-ranked position.
Side out.
And one of the few errors we've seen from Ben. We're going to see what kind of pattern
0-0-1.
adjustment Georgia Johnson and J.W. Johnson can do here in game 2.
Second serve.
But Annalie Waters and Ben Johns, as you said, Michelle,
0-0-2.
on point right now.
Reserve. I'll recall the score. 0-0-2. Side out. Zero, 0-1. Point.
Defense from Waters to stay alive in the rally. The Johnsons throwing everything on their side.
1-0-1.
And a good move from Georgia
Second
Johnson,
serve.
jumping the kitchen. Threatened needle, Ben letting it go, thinking it was going to go out, but stays
1-0-2.
in. And there's Ben Johns flying in to clean it up.
From defense to offense, just as good as they are offensively, the defense is just as impressive. Some hang time on that
2-0-2.
fly across the kitchen.
Side
And
out.
a good spot there from Georgia Johnson, right at the feet of Annalie Waters. Gets a paddle on it.
0-2-1.
Love the way Georgia leans into the kitchen on offense.
Second serve.
And Annalie and Ben both swinging for that ball. JW actually probably confused of who was actually hitting it.
0-2-2. Point.
How about this note from
1-2-2.
Waters and Johns in their mixed doubles performance? Only 6 losses, 142 wins.
Pretty good. It's incredible.
You have a 2% chance of beating them.
Side out.
And a good close there from Annalie Waters. Ben holding line, knowing that Georgia Johnson has been speeding up on him down that line. So
2-1-1.
Annalie making a great adjustment by closing middle.
Second serve. 2-1-2. Side out.
And there's that backhand flick that we talked about with J.W. Johnson, able to get it from well
1-2-1.
below the net and caught Annalie off guard with that one.
Second serve. One, 2-2. Side out. Two, 1-1. Point.
And there's that pattern once again. The back and forth dings from the kitchen line until Ben Johns feels like he can get involved. And so right now, if you're Georgia and J-Dub looking to change up the pattern, get JW more involved, we'll see if they can do that.
Point.
Wow. Anna Lee Waters polishes off the ATP off one heck of a sequence from Georgia Johnson.
4-1-1. Second serve. 4-1-2. Point.
And Ben Johns able to step in, take advantage of Georgia Johnson, unable to get to the kitchen line in time.
5-1-2. Side out. Immediate timeout.
Although with that miss, and they're going to take a timeout, but
5-1-2.
the number 1 team looking very...
Johns are playing at peak
1-5-1.
performance here in the semifinal. Somewhat of a rhetorical question. Oh, Georgia had it, but what a sequence from Ben.
I mean,
First a couple of angles and then the lob.
Ben Johns right now just completely locked in and almost just doing whatever shot he wants right now. He feels extremely comfortable out there.
Look out, J.W. Johnson crashing the middle, and you wanted more involvement from him. There you got it.
Yeah, at this point in the match, you're going to have to change something, and it's going to have to be J.W. Johnson trying to get involved a lot more. Change the pattern however you want to do it at this point, just so that happens.
Side out. Five, 2, 1. Second serve. 5-2-2. Point. 6-2-2.
The defense unbelievable from Waters and Johns, and Georgia Johnson finally able to find the opening down the middle. They're creating everything on their side.
2-6-1.
One seed getting everything back.
And there's Ben Johns once again. Georgia Johnson electing to try to attack instead of staying in the cross-court dink battle. Might be the best bet right now if you're Georgia and J.W. Johnson, is to go back to the cross-court, slow things down a little bit. Attacking Ben Johns right now, not the ideal situation that they want to be in.
6-2-1.
Wow, threading the needle right through the siblings.
And of course, as soon as I say go back to the cross court, now Anna Lee gets involved and threads the needle.
7-2-1. Point.
And Georgia Johnson trying to attack Ben Johns once again from below the net. And he's just
8-2-1.
all over it.
Second serve.
And Ben laying off that one, thinking Anna Lee was
8-2-2.
going to drive in there.
Point.
And now a missed return as they extend the lead.
9-2-2.
A quick trigger pull from Ben Johns. Just when you think he's going to dink it right back, he
Match point.
throttles it down the middle for a
10-2.
match point.
Side out.
JW Johnson catches Annalie Waters out of position.
2-10-1.
Another chance to close the 8-point gap. 1 match point saved. Incredible defense from the Johnsons.
And Annalie looking at Ben John saying, a little bit of trust, please. As she was closing in behind to get that ball.
3-10-1. Second serve. 3-10-2. Side out.
Love that line shot from Georgia Johnson on the backhand. Had it lined up. Thought she had it. And another match point returns to the side of
point.
Waters and Johns.
10-3-1.
Just wide for Georgia Johnson, and the world #1 remains unbeaten on the year, and through to Championship Sunday are Ben Johns and Annalie Waters. Ben Johns looking like a motivated man out there. Where does this rank for you in terms of Ben Johns' dominating performances? I know you have plenty to choose from, but this guy seemed like on a next level this time.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt good. Felt like I played well. Not a lot of unforced errors. Some good aggressive shots. Conditions felt good. Court felt good. Crowd felt good. Everything was rolling, I think. Annalie played really well. A lot of great setups and some good finishes as well, as usual. So I don't really have a ranking for you, but it definitely was feeling good out there.
Does Annalie have a ranking for you?
I don't know. I mean, I felt like last tournament we finished really well. That final was pretty good, so I would say that one and this one I was feeling about the same. So hopefully tomorrow we can continue this. But yeah, I think recently Ben and I have been feeling good. We were pushed yesterday, so I think today coming into it, not only were we looking for revenge from last year, but I think we were looking to play a little bit better than yesterday. So I think we brought it out today, and let's do it tomorrow.
Annalie, what was going through your mind when you came out here today and you had to go ahead and take over that ball once in a while and get Ben Johns out of there? What was going through your mind in that?
Sometimes it feels like women's doubles out there, you just got to push Ben over. But he takes my balls all the time, so every now and then I feel like, okay, it's my turn to do something. But, I'm feeling good if I'm taking a ball from Ben, because usually I'm like, take as many as possible, I'll scoot over here. So
if she's moving over and taking my ball, she's feeling great.
Yeah.
On to yet another Championship Sunday. Walk us through your preparation for these matches. How do you guys come together before you take on your opponents, especially in a progression draw format? Who comes to the table first with all the methodical minds on your bench?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. There's not really timing to it. It's more just you got your points, you got your things that you want to be focusing on, things to avoid, things to play to. So I think we both talk it back and forth. The bench might have a couple thoughts, and you just kind of all combine it and come away with a pretty decent strategy.
I usually have to make Carl Ben out of the players area and warm up, but that's about all I do. I contribute to.
At least you have your mom, Lee, with you handy. Usually she fills in for Ben when he's not present with us. Would love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations. Guys, congratulations on another Championship Sunday. We'll be right back. We'll have much more from Mesa coming your way next from the Mesa Arizona Cup.